have a rigid surface. There is a light inextensible string hanging from this particular rigid surface. The other end of the string is attached to a mass ball of mass m and a charge plus q. Right now, this ball will experience a gravitational force mg downward. Correct? Now, the ball cannot fall down because the string is applying a tension force in the upward direction. Can I say right now
tension force?
Huh?
What is tension force?
What is tension force? Tension force is a force that is created, that is produced in wires or strings, rope. Suppose
what is produced?
Force is produced, force is generated. Tension force is a reaction force. Okay, tension force is a reaction force that is generated. Suppose I have patang.
Yeah.
So when we are flying a kite, our hands or our fingers will feel some kind of a force, right? It's not going to be forceless. Even if a blind person is given the string, he knows that he is flying a kite. He might not know if the kite is rolling round, or if the kite is going left, right, down, up. He doesn't know. He's blind, but he can feel the force on his fingers, right? Somebody is pulling. The force applied by that person by the string is the tension. Now, this tension force actually is available throughout the string. Yaad rakhna. Okay, and I will explain you separately about strings and the tension force. Okay, but right now, all strings or all ropes or all loops or whatever you use, they will all thread and everything. They will have a force that is a reaction force. That's why I'm saying it is a generated force. And in this situation right now, gravity will be applied on the mass m in the downward direction. The ball should not fall downwards. Therefore, the string is going to apply a tension force in the upward direction. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, this fellow in this situation is at mechanical equilibrium. And what do I mean by mechanical equilibrium? I told you already, equilibrium means what? Net force should be 0.
Yes.
F bar net is 0. So right now, what are the forces that I have? I have T j cap in the upward direction and mg minus mg j cap in the downward direction.
Yes.
Correct? So I am taking upward as positive. I am not naming anything j cap or minus j cap. If I am taking upward as positive, so I can write tension as positive, gravitational force mg as negative, and I can say it is 0. Therefore, right now, my tension T is nothing but gravitational mg. Is this clear?
Yes.
Till now, there is a charge on this particular ball Q, but there is no electrostatic force in the story. Electrostatic force will come when there are at least 2 charges, or maybe when there is an electric field and the charge is placed in it.
Yes.
For example, if you remember the definition of electric field, we said is electric field is nothing but F bar force divided by the test charge, right? I am writing it as Q only. Okay. Fine. Right?
Fine.
By cross multiplying, can I say F bar is equal to Q times C bar? Yeah?
Yes.
I just cross multiplied this.
Yeah.
Now what we are saying is, suppose I apply a external electric field E in the horizontal direction.
Oh.
So this particular ball will experience a electrostatic force of Q into E in that direction.
Yes.
So gravitational force mg is a action force Earth is pulling it downwards. Electrostatic force QE is also an action force. Electric field is pushing it in that direction. So now what will happen? This string, instead of being vertical, it will take the ball somewhere over here. Correct?
It will go in K.
It will take the ball somewhere over here. सही है क्या?
Yes, K direction.
सुनिए, there is a gravitational force in the downward direction. There is an electrostatic force in the horizontal direction. Due to that electrostatic force, now the ball is going to shift a little bit in that direction, right? ये जो string है ये ऐसे घूमेगा. वो सब नहीं बोल रहा हूं मैं. फिजिकली अगर आपको मैंने पकड़ा और खींचा, पुश किया, तो यू विल शिफ्ट, है ना? So can I say that the ball basically will go somewhere like this, and basically it will reach somewhere over here? Yeah, the ball will go shift like this and reach somewhere over here. Correct? Let that angle be theta. Let this angle be theta. And let at theta mechanical equilibrium is established. Mechanical equilibrium is
established.
Now what is mechanical equilibrium? Mechanical equilibrium is nothing but net force is zero. Correct?
Yes.
Now let us understand at that position what all are happening. At that position, there is a mg gravitational force in the downward direction. There is QE electrostatic force towards right side.
Yes.
There is a new tension force T1. Earlier it was T, but because the direction string has changed its angle, there will be new tension force T1. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now what we are doing is, we will draw a free body diagram and show all the forces over here. There is a tension force T1 in this direction. There is gravitational force vertically downward, and there is an electrostatic force horizontally. Is this clear?
Yes.
Now understand the geometry a little bit. If this angle is theta, if the string makes an angle theta with the vertical, that means the tension force will also make the same angle theta with the vertical. Correct?
Correct.
That means this angle will be theta. Tension force is making an angle theta with the vertical. Just now I told you QE electrostatic force is an action force. Mg gravitational force is also an action force. But tension T1 is a reaction force. Tension is always a reaction, right? The string is going to apply a force on me when I am flying a kite, because wind is blowing the kite, right?
Yeah.
So suppose wind, everything is gone. What will kite do? Fall down.
Okay, yes.
It will fall down. String will apply no force on me. While flying a kite, string will apply force on my hand only because wind is blowing force on the kite.
Yes.
Kite will exert a force on itself and therefore transfer and generate this tension force in the string, and because I am holding it, the string is going to apply the force on me.
Yes.
No wind, no action force, no reaction force, no string force will not be there. Kite will fall down wherever it is. Is this clear?
Okay.
So, QE electrostatic force is an action force. It is acting because of the external electric. Mg is an action force, gravitational force. It is acting due to Earth's gravitational. Right? Tension T1 is acting due to reaction force because of these two action forces. समझ में आ रहा है? Now how much tension will be created, ये भी तो है.
हाँ.
तो आपने बोला राहुल गांधी को पप्पू बोला, ये बोला, वो बोला, फॉरेनर है, ये है, वो है, तो रिएक्शन भी तो आएगा. कर्नाटका में रिजल्ट्स आए, रिएक्शन भी तो आएगा ना. अब रिएक्शन कितना आएगा डिपेंड्स ऑन एक्शन फोर्स और नॉट. थिंक ऑफ इट इन इंट्यूशन. यू आर लर्निंग फिजिक्स राइट नाउ. नाउ एक्शन फोर्स हम जितना लगाएंगे, द रिएक्शन विल इट डिपेंड ऑन एक्शन और नॉट.
It will depend.
मैंने बोल दिया बेवकूफ, तूने सोचा ठीक है यार पढ़ा रहा है छोड़ दो, मैं ज्यादा बोलूंगा थोड़ी रुकेगी तू. आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? द रिएक्शन, डज इट डिपेंड ऑन एक्शन और नॉट?
It depends on action.
And for mechanical equilibrium, when I am saying my net force is zero, that means my reaction force will create itself in such a way that it cancels the action force, and only my net force will be zero.
Yeah.
अगर एक्शन ज्यादा है, रिएक्शन कम है, तो नेट फोर्स थोड़ी जीरो होगा. This clear? Action is 10 Newton, reaction is 7 Newton. It can't be zero, right?
Yeah, it can't be zero.
Action and reaction should match itself so that forces cancel, therefore net force is zero. Understood? Is this point clear? बाकी दुनिया मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ये point clear है क्या? Equilibrium is established only when all forces cancel each other. In this story, correct? Equilibrium is established.
If it's 7 reaction and 7 action, cancel.
If it is
7 reaction, 7 action.
What is 7?
You gave 10 examples, I'm giving you.
7 and 7 will cancel each other.
Yeah.
So
it will be 0.
That is equilibrium. No. Equilibrium means net force should be 0. 7 minus 7 will do 0, right? 10 minus 7 can't do 0. So my point that I'm trying to make is that an external electric field is creating an action force of electrostatic force. An external earth is creating a gravitational field, it is creating a gravitational force. These two are action forces. Now retaliating to these two, there is a reaction force that is being generated, which we are calling it as tension force. Now tension force is in nature a reaction force, and this electrostatic force and gravitational force are action forces. Correct? If I want, if बहुत जरूरी है, if I want an equilibrium to establish, my action forces should be cancelled. But who will cancel? Reaction force will cancel, right?
So they should be same.
For stability, for equilibrium, my action forces should be cancelled by reaction forces. Do you agree or not?
Yes, I agree.
For equilibrium to be established, my action forces should be cancelled. But who will cancel? Reaction force will only cancel. That's the reason reaction is there, no? Is this clear?
Yes.
So, for equilibrium, because net forces should be 0, my action force is gravity and my action force electrostatic, both should be cancelled by the reaction tension force. Is this clear?
Okay.
Is this clear? Now, further moving ahead, kyunki we have done a little bit of vectors and played with it. Now, I know gravitational force is downward. The only way we can cancel it is by some force in the upward. Correct or not?
Correct.
So if mg is downward, I want a force in upward direction, and mera tension force is in this direction. So the only thing that is possible is that the component can be created over here, T1 cos theta. Okay. This is T1, angle is theta, so T1 cos theta upward.
Yeah.
Similarly, T1 sin theta. Now you can clearly see T1 cos theta is against my gravity and T1 sin theta is against my electrostatic. Opposite direction. T1 cos theta is acting against my gravitational force and T1 sin theta is acting against my electrostatic force. So just now we said the only fellow who is going to cancel these actions are going to be my reaction force. Can I further smooth it up and say that actually the components of my reaction forces are cancelling my action forces?
Yes.
Is this clear? The components of my reaction forces are cancelling my action forces. T1 cos theta cancelling mg and T1 sin theta cancelling qe. If my equilibrium, if I talk about equilibrium, नो इक्विलिब्रियम पंछी उड़ता हुआ चले गया तो वो अलग बात है, फिर वो कुछ और इक्वेशन लिखेंगे. यहां मेरा पंछी तो उड़ के जा नहीं रहा है, वहीं पे है एट एन एंगल थीटा at equilibrium, right? So let at angle theta mechanical equilibrium is established. That means my components of reaction forces T cos theta should cancel the action force mg and my T1 cos theta, sorry, right? And my component of reaction force T1 sin theta should cancel my electrostatic action force QE. Is this clear? Is this clear or not? सोच लो.
No.
देखो अभी क्या हो रहा है, दोबारा बता रहा हूं. There is an action force gravity, there is an action force electrostatic. Okay, do you agree that this ball will go from here to here?
Yes.
Okay, if the ball is going from here to here, do you agree the string is in this direction?
Yes.
If the string is in that direction, that means the tension force will also be in that direction.
Yeah.
Next point that I said is, I want equilibrium to be established, mechanical equilibrium to be established. If my mechanical equilibrium has to be established, that means my action forces mg and my action force qe should be cancelled by someone.
Yeah.
Why? Because at equilibrium my net force is 0. Someone, we don't know who. Then we discussed about that my reaction always depends on my action. Correct? The reaction always depends on the action.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? Not just by न्यूटन चाचा ने थर्ड लॉ में बोल दिया इसलिए मालूम है. Not just by that. I gave an example कि एक पर्टिकुलर लिमिट तक मैं तुझे कमेंट करूंगा तो तू सह लेगी, ठीक है यार भाड़ में गया. बट as the action grows, the reaction will grow. और
Yes.
लेट अस से कि भाई तुमने बोल दिया पप्पू 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 पप्पू, सुन सुन के तुमने कर्नाटका में ही तुमने करप्शन किया तो रिजल्ट आ गया. एक्शन जिस तरीके से है, रिएक्शन उसी तरीके से आएगा ना.
Yes.
अभी मान लो आप रोड पे जा रहे हो, आपने देखा दो लोग भयंकर वाला लड़ रहे हैं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि वो लोग गाड़ी में जा रहे थे एक दूसरे का फेस देखे और सोचे हाँ व्हाई नॉट, लेट अस फाइट फियर्सली. कुछ तो शुरू हुआ होगा ना, इसने कुछ बोला उसने कुछ बोला, गाली दिया, चढ़ते 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 एक्शन और रिएक्शन को इक्वेट करते हुए वो लोग उस मुकाम तक पहुंच गए कि हाँ भाई लड़ रहे हो. ऐसा
Yes.
थोड़ी होगा कि वो जा रहा है ऐसे और सडनली कोई आए रुक मुझे मारना है तुझे, वो भी फियर्सली. Reaction always depends on action. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Do you agree it because Newton Chacha said it in third law, or you know it?
We have seen we understood it.
We
right?
know that, right? We can experience it. We don't want Newton Chacha to tell us in Newton third law. We know
Yeah.
that the reaction will depend on action. Correct? The next thing that I want to say is that if I want equilibrium, if there is any equilibrium over here,
Yeah.
अब भाई वो इनएक्सटेंसिबल स्ट्रिंग है तो वो तो उधर ही है. So basically equilibrium तो establish हो गया. So for my equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, my net force should be 0. What my net force should be 0 means I have action force. Somebody has to kill them, no?
Yes.
Otherwise, it will not be 0. So downward, I have an action force. To kill that fellow, I need someone in the upward direction. Now that someone is who? He is our tension force component. Similarly, someone is applying an action force in the horizontal direction, right side. Someone has to create a reaction force, cancel it towards left side. And that is the other component of the tension force. Is this clear? So that means if I want to be exactly specific, my components of the tension forces at equilibrium, only at equilibrium, the components of my tension forces T1 cos theta will cancel mg and T1 sin theta will cancel QE. Is this clear?
Yes.
Because opposite directions, we are equating the magnitudes. क्योंकि magnitude equal है दोनों opposite direction में, तो हमें पता है cancel करके 0 हो जाएंगे. This clear?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
Now I will repeat my final statement again. The components of my tension forces at equilibrium are going to cancel my action forces gravitational and electrostatic. The components of my reaction force, the component of my tension force is cancelling my action forces because
Yes.
I want equilibrium. Is this clear?
Yes.
अभी मैं एक और स्टेटमेंट बोलूंगा और इस स्टेटमेंट को मैं डिक्टेट भी करूंगा इमीडिएटली. ओके, अब ये और थोड़ा सा इसको चमक मार के थोड़ा सा इसको और अच्छे से देखो. My reaction force generates itself in such a way that at equilibrium position, the components of my reaction force cancel the action forces. My reaction force generates itself in such a way, T1 and theta, they generate themselves in such a way such that at equilibrium position, the components of my reaction forces cancel the action forces.
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yes.
नोट लिखो, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है. इसको हर चैप्टर में अलग अलग तरीके से मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा कि अप्लाई होता ही. हर चैप्टर में नहीं, मेजॉरिटी चैप्टर्स. नोट लिख लो, सिर्फ नोट लिखो, बाकी सब बाद में छापना. नोट, the reaction force generates itself. The reaction force generates itself. The reaction force generates itself in such a way. The reaction force generates itself in such a way that at equilibrium, its components at equilibrium, its components
Yeah, after that? No, equilibrium.
generates itself in such a way that at equilibrium, the components of reaction forces at equilibrium, the components of reaction forces, cancel the action forces. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you think this video was useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also, I'll be waiting for your comments in the comment section. See you in the next video.